There has been an absolutely massive patch that's come out just recently. I'll be going through that and also speaking about a few other things. Wipe is on Monday, so everything will be going back to the beginning of early access, apart from Triumph levels and Bluestone shards. This will help some of the player base that is behind catch back up. This wipe has been very long as the other playtests have been a lot shorter, though the gear drops seem to be a lot more frequent and stronger on the shorter playtests to even everything out. A really good thing about this wipe coming up is that there's a lot of people that have been cheating, a lot of people doing real money trade, and a lot of people exploiting for gold. So this is going to bring everyone back to an even level. Anyway, these are the patch notes. An additional character slot has been added so you can create one of each class now. Currency used to unlock classes has been returned, so if you paid for Bard or Warlock, you'll have that currency back to spend on skins or animation. It's surprising that they charge for these classes in the first place, as Iron Mace said they were against microtransactions, but it's good they've listened to the community and have gone back on it. Game time has been slightly increased for normal Inferno map and more for high roller maps. This is good. I always found myself rushing in Inferno and High Roller and not being able to fully clear rooms before moving on to the next. Added an additional blue portal, and Death Swarm closing times have been modified to close slower for the Goblin Cave maps. This was needed as you'll find a lot of people would end up friendly at the end, or portals would be on a higher or lower levels, and you would have to make a mad dash out of the zone to try find one on another level right before the last closing circle. Shrine of Protection's physical damage reduction buff has been reduced from 30% to 15%. This was much too strong in tanking classes. Pots and crates give a little bit of XP when broken instead of 0 XP. Nice little bonus for people leveling new classes and trying to catch back up behind the curve. This will be strong for Warlocks as well when the server wipes to power level. Silver coins now stack to 30 instead of 25 a slot. The armor rating curve has been modified slightly and flattened at the very high range. Fighters with full plate and good clerics were much too strong of a spot. This will help a lot of the classes that deal with them without magic. Physical damage reduction now has a hard cap of 85%. This is very necessary as fighters could be almost untouchable stacking armor and damage reduction. Rogue's double jump has now been modified to apply a temporary movement speed reduction upon landing. The maximum height of the double jump has also been slightly reduced. Rogue's weak point attack now reduces the target's armor rating by 40% instead of reducing physical damage reduction. Rogue can no longer equip the hand crossbow. This is a massive nerf to rogues and was very needed. Rogues were in an odd spot where they would be played solo in groups, especially on Howling Crypts, and just poke and then run away while poking down classes with a hand crossbow. You could not catch them at all. But the downside for rogues is that they basically couldn't take on high armor targets. This patch balances them a lot better. Fighter's Taunt ability, physical damage reduction reduced by 15% to 10%. Fighter's Barricade gives 50 armor rating in defensive position instead of 15% damage reduction, which is a buff for undergeared and a nerf for geared. Ranger's Penetrating Shot now grants 25% more armor penetration, and an error in the description has been fixed. This is a lot more viable for late game, though I don't know if we'll see it be used very much still. Bard's Den of Darkness attribute damage ratio has been reduced from 10, 30, 50% to 6, 9, 12%, which is a bit of a nerf. Explosive Bottle and Oil Lantern now do magic damage instead of physical damage. Bit of a buff as people usually have more armor than magic resistance. Instruments are now Bard only, so say goodbye to rogues throwing drums. Significantly reduce the values for physical damage reduction that appear as random attributes on items. Big debuff to Fighter and Cleric. All of the Fighter debuffs might bring back some Barbarians as they rely on health more than armor, and armor's getting a huge nerf this patch. Falchion damage has been slightly reduced, much needed as they were very strong on Fighters and Warlocks, as slow, hard-hitting one-handers. The Windlass crossbow has 25% armor penetration. This is scary. We'll probably be seeing fighters and rangers running these and swapping them to a bow after firing their first shot in PvP. Crossbow has 25% armor penetration, which is a strong buff. The hand crossbow has 5% armor penetration. We'll see a lot less of these as rogues can't use them anymore. Flanged Mace and Morningstar have 15% armor penetration, and the Warmaul has a 30% armor penetration. This is going to be a game changer in my opinion. I was enjoying playing Cleric as a buff damage class. Warmaul could nearly one-shot a lot of the classes without much gear as it was, though it's very slow, so you needed a lot of armor to use it as defensive. Bit of a balance for Clerics losing armor. Magic's staff now has magic damage by default. You get 5 spell power on just the base staff, which is huge buff for Wizard or Warlocks. Wizards will now be in a way better spot for starting off naked, not having to cast so many spells on mobs that take them down. This is just a giant buff for starting locks, as their cast will be a lot stronger, and their Blow of Corruption will be a lot stronger as well because it scales with spell power. I don't think you'll see many staves on geared wizards late game, because the book animation is just a lot cleaner and less clunky, and movement speed is very needed on wizards, though locks may be running them late game with good rolls and a two-handed weapon. Reduce the base projectile damage for values for plate armors. This is a bit of a buff for rangers, some damage bards and fighters that use ranged weapons, while nerfing fighters and clerics a bit more. Overall, I think this is a very, very good patch. There's a lot of balancing that had to be done, and I think it's going in a very good direction. Thanks for watching.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over my channel, and then I start eating garbage.
Subscribe to Casual Scrub War.
I start blasting. Bah, bah.